Hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6-mile long stretch of water. This water is straight and level and does not flow.
Advanced simplicity takes hold. You'll find the truth from things of old.
So let me give you a hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6-mile long straight stretch of water. At each end of this straight stretch of water is a bridge. Point A, so you've got 2 bridges. Point B. This water is straight and level and does not flow. At each end of this water is a bridge. Point A, point B. At each bridge there is a plumb bob hanging down to the water.
We are on the road,
even altitude,
suspending judgment until the truth is known. You will find peace within.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
Now, on these vertical strings, can you imagine an even altitude? A point at an equal height above the surface of the water below.
Advanced simplicity takes hold.
An even altitude.
You'll find the truth from things of old.
And on these vertical strings, can you imagine 2 points? So let me give you a hypothetical. Can you imagine point A an even altitude? At these points and point B. And on these vertical strings, we can establish a perpendicular and even altitude and call one point A and the other point B. 2 points. Point A, point B, even altitude.
We are on the road,
2 points.
suspending judgment until the truth is known.
Point A,
You will find peace within.
point B.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
The point at an equal height above the surface of the water below. Point A, point B. Point A, even altitude. Point B.
There's no end game in mind.
Is the shortest distance between those 2 points?
It's only the truth that we seek to find.
We know the shortest distance
There's no end game in mind.
between 2 points is a straight
It's
line.
only the truth that we seek to find.
Now, here's the question I'm asking myself. How can the distance between these 2 points be anything other than horizontal?
Everyone must see it for
Horizontal.
themselves. The truth
2
is
points.
there for you to find.
And then ask yourself, and the water.
And we are live. Welcome everyone. It is is it Wednesday? Got mixed up. Busy week. Yes, it is Wednesday. We are going to be doing our same again. Half hour, just to say live and go over the happenings. Then we're going to go over ethics again. A little bit different today though, hopefully. Within the Discord. We're getting on now. Lecture 4. I don't know whether anybody's really any wiser as to what ethics is. I'm doing all right on the quizzes. I'm doing okay. Yeah, it's a bit tricky, Mike. I don't know. I don't know whether you miss much or not. It's hard work to work out what's going on with the ethics. I think it's a state of the times that we're in. don't know whether people understand. I mean, I know I don't even understand what ethics is really. It's something that isn't really taught. It's not really a thing. Bit weird. Can go over a bit. Are you guys in there? Like I've got this like last. It's about the last minute of the last lecture. That just if we should give somebody a teaser of what's going on, so you guys that are here. Let me get this screen on. You guys, is it still on there? Last minute.
Yep.
Of let me go. Boom. Okay.
What?
So this is the boss man for the college. Going over the last. So listen to this. It's about happiness.
Happiness is ultimately an activity of the soul that is excellent in all of the ways that the human being acts, and also all of the ways that the human being thinks. And if you can be good at all of those things, you will certainly have a wide measure of happiness. And to the extent that you're not good in that way, your happiness will be compromised. And Aristotle presents that as just a fact, inescapable. And hopeful. You can be good at all that. According to your abilities, everyone, except the severely impaired who are rare, can have a significantly virtuous and happy life.
So all of us except severely impaired. Now, I'd say that there's an impairment called model affliction that may be blocking some sort of thinking or your ability to think. So this sort of stuff that we're going over is pretty relevant to today's sort of stuff, but I don't know, it's like geometry, mathematics. It's so intrinsic to life. This is a part of that too. So make sure you're not one of those ones who's severely impaired. May help you stop you from having this. I don't know. It's hard to say virtuous because I don't even know what that is. That's one of those words, but definitely know what happiness is. You want to strive towards happiness, surely. I don't know what happiness is modern day times. I know seem to be okay. I'm constantly smiling, having fun through all sorts of things. But I don't know, there's a lot. You do tend to see a lot of anger, a lot of hate goes around. I don't want to try and push that. So yeah, if you do want to come in and have a discussion on these sort of things, on the level Discord, I'll put a link out in the chat. Hope everybody is actually doing this part of this course. Ethics at Hillsdale. Put that link in the chat there. If anybody else wants to go and join it, it is there. It's going to be in the YouTube chat in a second. Oh. Copy link, not open link. So this is the course that we're going over. Feel free, click your link. It is a free to do course. Do it on your own if you want. I would encourage everyone to do it anyway. It's coming at a weird time within the arena, sort of the moving on, I think, of what we're doing here. The proofs are going to come, you know, when we start building all of this sort of stuff that we've been going over. But trying to study the human condition and the way it reacts to certain things. I think last week we were going over the ability of the human, supposedly, that has over the animals and the rest of the things within nature is the ability to reason, but the reason comes within speech, conversation, and it's becoming very obvious that there's a certain group of people that want to particularly shut down conversation. And I mean, I'm okay with that. That's okay, because we know that certain conversations are troubling. It's painful for people to have these conversations. They'll use whatever means they have in order to not have these conversations, even when it turns to be slander, libel, doesn't really matter, just lying about the opposition, just to stop having the conversations. So what we're trying to do is basically bring forth the conversation into these tricky areas that obviously it will be troubling most people, but because these are real issues that have been brought forward by modern society, modern thinking, we have to have conversations about them. We don't, we're lost, I think. Probably already are lost. Well, particularly the flat earthers at the minute are the ones that definitely don't want to have conversations about how to prove things within reality, how to discuss problems that they might have within any of their claim to be arguments. That, I mean, I think that's really why they don't like it pointing out that they don't actually have arguments. They just have statements that are dictated to them by their leaders. Globers have never had any conversation. To be honest, what's happening is people don't seem to be able to discuss reality. Globers just want to discuss the globe model, and flat earthers only want to talk about flat earth stuff, and nobody actually wants to talk about things that occur in reality. They want to shut that out. That may be a sign of modern times, you know, where the reality seems to be too much for people to take, so they have to live within these paracosms that they've made up for themselves. It's a tricky state of being in modern times. And if if there is no conversation, then there will be no learning. And you can call yourself like beyond the echo chamber or whatever, but if you're literally shutting down conversation, stopping people from entering into these supposedly open platforms, then it was strange. I did have a conversation with somebody this morning about one of the conversations that we did here over there, but it seems like we've been shut out, no longer allowed to listen. Discord, free speech.
Yeah, it's a strange sort of situation that if this is the kind of the new society, the truth society of people going forward, in search of truth, I'm already been exiled.
Yeah.
I don't belong, So if I come across these people anywhere in the world outside of this, then I don't belong already. So that society isn't going to work, is it? If I'm already in exile. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter to them that, and I'm not whinging. Maybe it doesn't matter because, I won't be with them. I'll be in exile. But
the
how
questions you were
society can
asking have
work.
not been answered.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
questions
they
are
just
still
haven't.
there. It's just that
Yeah.
these people don't want to deal with it. They've shut you out.
Yeah. Yeah, unless I agree. I have to agree with something that doesn't make sense or it's not clear, or
No,
if I get closer to it, then
it's gone beyond that. You agreeing wouldn't help now at all.
no. But that seems to be that's the default. You can only get to a place where you have to agree with the narrative. That's as far as you can go. That's it. You're either one side or the other, and you've got to agree to a certain narrative. I was listening to him talking today, and they seem to be tweaking the narrative now to even take away even any kind of thing that could be seen as a claim. Anything. Um, so it seems like they're just shutting down that possibility that you might have a question to ask. So they're not going to claim anything, uh, even though they say the Earth's measured flat. But so that and it's okay if you just go along with the narrative and say and repeat that, you'll be fine. But if that doesn't make sense, and I was talking again to some or chat and texting somebody today and saying, well, I've said it before, if I were to be, if there's just two choices, if there is, if there were, between a globe and a flat Earth, then, and if you put one to one side and then you think, let's have a look at this other one, and you think, well, yeah, that makes sense. That's it. My reality, comports with that. And then I'd want to be able to strongly stand up and say it is that, for, and put up with any foolishness anybody pointed at me, knowing that as far as I could see that I was in the right, for me, and I need to be able to explain this stuff to myself, so I understand what I'm talking about and not just have some vague kind of explanation. For me, that's not really good enough, and I'm just trying to find some answers to some things, and because they've become inconvenient, and then um, claims are made about me and or what I'm doing, or that I'm making personal attacks. It's just become more difficult to ask those questions because that's the leading question. Oh, it's just a personal attack. You're just here to try and make me look bad or something, and that just seems to be a product of the rhetoric, really. Um, to be able to get through and say, well, hang on, when you measure that over there, what? Just explain that to me. If all those measurements come from the flat Earth, then where are they now? if they were taken and wrapped around the globe, and now that you've unwrapped them, where are they? Where are those original things you said that came from there? Where do they exist now? Where does that figure you've got there? Where did that come from? Where can I find it now in reality? And those are the questions that are kind of you know st- maybe they're questions that nobody can know the answer to. That's fine if you get to that. You say, well, it's just that's in the unknown. Really, we just got to accept we're never going to really know that. But when you're talking about distances and measurements, then you imagine it's been done, somebody did it, and they exist somewhere and relate to something. And yeah, so when I hear those things being said, then I think, well, okay, all right. If that's so, where is it? And that question, where is it, just seems to create a lot of big issues.
Well,
And yeah,
like I
so
say, I was
it's knocked
saying
out.
earlier, we were in there listening. I didn't say
Yep.
a thing, didn't post a thing, and all of a sudden, completely locked out. But
Yep.
no,
No
no banning,
explanation.
no
No.
no message from the server, just
No. Yeah. That happened to me
locked
the other
out.
day. Yeah, the same. And then I messaged the owner and said, "Can you just tell me where I'm at? Am I banned? What's the reason that I get thrown out after 5 minutes of being in silence and server muted, so I couldn't speak anyway? Not like I can speak. So what reasons were they? Have a look at the logs. You'll see the pattern." And then somehow nothing was said, but the door was open. So I went there today, and I'm already server muted when I enter the room, so I can't speak. And then I asked the question why. He went through the list. So one of the guys there went through the list of everybody was in the room and passed me by, but didn't say anything about why I was server muted. And then I texted, well, you went past, but why am I server muted? And then it's because well, work it out for yourself, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I was
Well,
just
what is
saying
it?
earlier.
What rules?
I talked to
Yeah.
Geeks about it this morning. He's in here now.
All
About
right.
how we were listening to his friend and
Yeah.
how well she was doing, talking to the other people, and it's
Really
the only
well. Really
person
well.
I've talked to about it. So unless some words got back that we were evaluating or watching somebody or listening to somebody talk
Maybe.
to that, and I don't know.
No, I wasn't there for that, but as she was interesting to
Mm-hmm.
listen to, that's for sure. It was just I was told in the end I was a bad faith actor. I was making allegations. Nobody liked me, and that I was a member of a cult.
Yeah, perhaps
And that
that's it.
those
Perhaps
were,
it's the cult
yeah,
association, right? That I've
yeah,
been locked out. I don't know.
and that's from people who spend an hour preaching
Mm.
about the Bible and stuff like that. I mean, like evangelist type preaching, So
What could be so dangerous to a group of
yes,
flat earthers as that for them to
the question. What
stop
are the
people from
39
going in there
steps?
that don't really say anything?
Yeah. And yeah, I have questions. I haven't made false allegations. I did ask Oakley, if he'd like to comment on his allegations about you in the community. I didn't mention you by name. But you just said, perhaps you'd like to address that. Kicked me out immediately, but nobody. Yeah. So those who cover that up, they are aware of it. They are enabling that kind of stuff to go on, that behaviour, and so they're not false allegations. It's evidence there for those things, for those questions. Just yeah.
So
Let's
yeah,
see.
other than that, so obviously that's one of the avenues of us being able to communicate with this very strange group of people, and they are getting stranger.
For sure.
And I know that may upset them, us calling them strange, and that may be the reason why they don't want to talk to us, or it may be the reason that we have arguments that state the Earth is not flat. Maybe because we've got questions about this measuring it, the Earth flat.
Yeah, but the strange thing is, I think that if I were to address a room as the box of misfit toys, for instance, I'm pretty sure I'd be red mic'd and silenced. But that can be said by by Oakley, the leader of the community, and QE can be said about a server, but there's no sanctions made for that kind of thing. That's okay. To basically slander a whole group of people and say they're a box of misfit toys, and put it on your thumbnails of your live streams. It was almost like a taunting, but that's the level of madness it's got to there. But you're not even allowed to speak about that and say, what does that mean?
Right, so we've got about 3 minutes, and we will be going into Discord, shutting this live stream down, going into a Discord to have a conversation in there. So please come, be part of the conversation. Don't be one of those people shutting conversation down, your fingers in your ears. At least, if you've got problems, then come and voice them. Don't hide away. Not allowing anybody to ask questions. I mean, it's not as if we're nasty people or anything. We can just have conversations about all sorts of things. Not everybody agrees in this room. We have the ability to converse when we don't agree about things. It's not really a problem. The problem of life is at the minute that people don't talk to each other. You can have imaginings about what other people are saying. The best way to find out is just talk. Pink Floyd. All we need to do is just keep talking. And the arguments are coming. That might be what they're scared of, really. On the level and the arguments that we present. Troubling for both sides of the false dichotomy.
He don't look right to me.
So this is where this is going to be the home of the conversation. As long as you're not talking shit, no shit talk.
Cheats here.
Yeah. Oh, that's good timing. Yeah, let me just sort this out. I'm gonna put the Buster song on. Well, it's Emma, really. Have you heard Emma? Emma's song. Cakes. Right,
What?
I'm gonna put it on. We'll see you on Friday. It's gonna be a free-for-all Friday, but not like last week's free-for-all Friday. This is gonna be a different one. On the level, free-for-all Friday. Or come into the Discord now and join in with the ethics. And the little bit of a chat that we're going to have in between. So come and join us in the Discord, and let Busters play with
So
Emma.
let me give you a hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6-mile long stretch of water. This water is straight and level and does not flow.
Advanced simplicity takes hold. You
ready?
find truth from things of old.
So let me me give you a hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6 mile long straight stretch of water. At each end of this straight stretch of water is a bridge. Point A, so you've got two bridges. Point B. This water is straight and level and does not flow. At each end of this water is a bridge. Point A, point B. At each bridge, there is a plumb bob hanging down to the water.
We are on the road,
Even altitude.
suspending judgment until the truth is known. You will find peace within.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
Now, on these vertical strings, can you imagine an even altitude? A point at an equal height above the surface of the water below.
Advanced simplicity takes hold.
An even
You'll
altitude.
find the truth from things of old.
And on these vertical strings, can you imagine 2 points? So let me give you a hypothetical. Can you imagine point A and even altitude at these points and point B? And on these vertical strings, we can establish a perpendicular and even altitude and call one point A and the other point B. 2 points. Point A, point B, even altitude.
We are on the road,
2 points.
suspending judgment until the truth is known.
Point A,
You will find peace within.
point B.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
The point at an equal height above the surface of the water below. Point A, point B. Point A, even altitude. Point B.
There's no end game in mind.
Is the shortest distance between those 2 points?
It's only the truth that we seek to find.
We know the shortest distance
There's no end game in mind.
between 2 points is a straight
It's
line.
only the truth that we seek to find.
Now, here's the question I'm asking myself. How can the distance between these 2 points be anything other than horizontal? Horizontal.
Everyone must see it for
Horizontal.
themselves. The truth
2
is there
points.
for you to find.
And then ask yourself, and the water.